Well, good morning, folks. It's Jonathan Wilson. I'm the guitar viol guy behind the TogaMan GuitarViols, and just having a little morning coffee here. But while I do, I just wanted to point out some things that have happened with the electric model TogaMan guitar viol over the years. And anyway, the ones that you see down here are both examples, past and current. This one is one we would have seen in the past, and this was known as the Naked Spartan. And the Naked Spartan was really just a natural finish, satin finished version of what we called the Cana model. And this one was literally a hybrid guitar and bowed instrument. Now, I need to point out some context. I designed this particular instrument not to sell, not to reproduce, but for my own uses initially. And what that was I was doing looping performances combining both guitar and bowed stuff. As such, it didn't have as steep of a, it had a radius to it, but not as steep as the ones you see now. Because the ones we're doing now are more optimized for bowing. You can see this one has a much steeper radius to it. It also has the neck much higher off the body, and I'll talk about that in a second. It's the old TogaMan dude there. Anyway, this one was, I made these between 2002 and 2009, and then they were discontinued because I wanted to do some engineering changes to them, and the tooling was just not going to allow for that. When you have tooling and you change one thing, you have to change the rest of the whole fleet, and it just it was time to do that. In any event, so some of the changes that I'm going to talk about, one is with the older bodies, they were a little wider. This one's a little more narrow. That's more effective for bow clearance. And also the bridge you can see on the newer ones is higher. The older ones were a little more closer to the body, just enough to be bowed. But anyway, these did have, the active EMG EQ in them. This one also had the mag pickups. Now, people ask me about that and why I took them off, and I'll tell you, they were good for guitar plucked playing, but really when it comes to bowed sounds, they really didn't create the desired effect. And that's because bowed strings are, when they're bowed, if you have a bow going this way to the strings, it means the string is moving in that horizontal pattern with the bow, and that gives the pickup nothing to work with. So effectively it sounds like really out of phase. And if you try this with an electric guitar, you'll find that it'll get a screechy sound. You have to pull your gain higher, and then when you pull the bow away, the guitar gets loud suddenly. So that's an interesting little phenomenon. I'll blog about that another time. In any event, this is the older headstock, and it had the Spurzell tuners on it. And unfortunately, the quality dropped on them at some point, so I had to redesign the headstock. And I kind of like the newer one better. It's a little more curved, whereas the other one was straight. I actually originally, when I designed this one way back in '02, I was really just trying to make a really straight shot, make it fairly easy to cut. But this really has turned out to be one I love a lot more, and I think most people have like that. A couple things too. This one had a guitar fret wire. Actually, this was more closer to mandolin in this case. And extruded frets, when they're mushroom shaped, they don't really bend around up here at the top as easy, so I was having a lot of bad fretting days, a few too many in fact. Also, now we're going to talk about the stealth frets here, and these are ones that are like embedded, and then some material is scalloped away. This is not done for the sake of scalloping, but there are some other factors involved, and we found that we could do a much cleaner job doing it this way. Also, talk about this is it's sort of vanishing frets. I find this region to be very vestigial. It really doesn't fret as well, and if you want the equivalent note, play it down here, And this gives you an effectively little fretless area too, so you know it's sort of got a double benefit. This now, here's another significant difference. The older neck joints were very traditional. I mean, just something we would route a pocket out and we would see there's, I believe, 4 bolts right here on the back. And these were machine bolts. Now over here, we're going to see only 2 of them. And I'm hoping we can see this. I can't see my camera real well. There we are. And now we've got a couple of risers, tubular risers there. This brings the fingerboard up to where we can play it really effectively up here. And over here, it's, you know, it's just a little more low to the instrument. So this has got a benefit of being able to get up into the higher regions a lot easier. Also, I've kind of carved away a little bit of that. I think it's kind of cool with that. But anyway, the pickup system is pretty much the same. The difference is we're using different strings now. These are actually helicore mixed set of cello strings, and they're true bowed strings, whereas these were guitar strings. These were like, I believe they were the flat wound chrome Diodarios I'd used for years. Now, these act really well as guitar strings, and they're a little more shrill when bowed, and you'd have to kind of tone down the EQ a little bit. But it also got a very distinctive sound, very much like the sounds you heard in the movie 300 and a lot of other blockbuster films and TV shows, including True Blood, CSI Miami, Hell on Wheels. I think he used the acoustic on that a lot more. We'll talk about that another day. But anyway, this is the newer design body, so it's narrower. We have the you know, the lifted off the body neck. That's more accessible. It is a tighter radius, actually a little more elliptical. It's more of an ellipse in that context. So, you know, we could see that we've got a lot more refined machine over here. Anyway, I did want to walk through and talk about some of these differences on the instruments. On the this is the new one, and this is the old classic, which is now discontinued. So some of you out there still have some of these. But with the spirit of what we would say, I guess in Japanese, Kaizen, which is continuous improvement and change, this one is the Kaizen here. So in any event, this is a Spartan model. We also make them with violin cuts. This is a smooth cut body. This is Kana SM on the website. The violin cut has on this side something like that on the other body. So they're available kind of both ways. This one, again, is a natural satin finish. We'll get, you know, I get into more crazy French polish and a few other carved variations on these. In any event, if you'd like more information on these, please do go to www.GuitarViols.com, GuitarViols.com. Thank you very much, and have an exceedingly awesome day.